Well, let's see if they can actually make it happen as game 1 of day number 2 starts now. Well, you can see, guys, that we are here in Seoul, South Korea for this Rift Rivals 2019, as poor Mad Team didn't quite get a cheer, but all the Kingzone fans out here in force tonight.
Yes. You'd better believe some people have been buying tickets ever since the yesterday event. Now you, as a Kingzone fan, can believe. I love the fact that whenever we had a camera shot in the coaches, very slowly, like the first play came through, they didn't believe it. They didn't want to get too overexcited for it. But then as the game went through and they were being more disciplined, being able to cancel out a lot of the plays that FPX were going for, this is a new Kingzone that we're seeing if we're talking about in comparison to the most recent games in the LCK.
Yeah, and it's refreshing to see, just to have them come out here and really perform on a bigger stage in a international tournament in front of more fans, right in this giant arena that we're here in the middle of Seoul in. It's good stuff. We'll hope that they can continue that into LCK, or perhaps even help carry their team here, as we're going to look at the start of the jungle.
What I'm interested in is, of course, the rune pages already being seen. There are already 3 points of interest here. Number 1, of course, is comment on Ashe for the lane strength. That's going to be interesting to see. I want to just see how Ashe has been building this. Remember, this is the buff Ashe. Lower cooldown on her volley. So that's just going to be a lot of lane strength. Maybe resets our focus on how the matchup should really go. That should shift things. Then, on Deft and Tushin, both of them picking up Spellbook on their bot side. So theoretically, they can go double teleport, double cleanse. That's the focus, because if you have the double Lux binding that's available for you, and then Breeze having ultimate for himself post 6, there's an obvious concern that Kongyu is going to be coming to the bot side of the map, and there's a lot of CC on the side of Mad Team for those skirmishes to happen. So they're rightfully concerned about that. Have the teleport to start for depth, and then as the lane goes on, can move towards cleanse.
Not to mention some potential fun shenanigans with the triple smite if it does come down to it later on in the game. As we all know Tushin loves that one with the unsealed spell, but big trade up in the top side here as Rascal already dominating here at level 2.
So this was the concern that I had, barring the anomaly in the bottom lane. That mid lane was going to get shoved in, and Uniboy's not going to have much of a say. In the top line, the passive that Camille has in the matchup, the trade's not going to be possible by Rock. Like, that's just going to be absorbed by the initial shield. And then if you're just thinking about the sweep that she has just to be able to slow him down, extra bit of poke as well. He doesn't have Comet, he has Grass in the Undying, but it's still going to help him out. It's just going to be slowly piling in waves, makes it easier for Cuz to just go into the jungle.
Ooh, Smite fight here is going to be won by Kongya, as Cuz did have a smite, but was not able to make it happen. You can see the priority in the top side. Rascal was making his way down, but that's definitely a nice snipe arena there by Kongya. And just to make sure, you mentioned how that jungle matchup can be a bit difficult. He doesn't really want to fight up against the Rek'Sai, but is able to get a small win there at least.
And you have to be concerned if you're Kongya in the blue side of your jungle, simply because of how much chase down there is with Rek'Sai and, of course, Camille being able to just slingshot her way towards you. So just saying, I mean, if you're Kongyu, just take some extra bit of precaution. Clue in on what Rock is doing on the top side. If he's getting shoved in, he needs to be able to call out the Mias whenever he can. That's something he has to be worried about. And just play to the bot side. Even with the cleanse potential bot side from Tushin and Def, you still want to be down there. The plan hasn't changed.
Yeah, absolutely not. And I'm looking forward to seeing if he can actually make that happen here. As once again, we're just getting a look at that lane. The mid lane, as you mentioned, has just been a push fest for the side of Nahyun. He's really enjoying his mid lane so far, whereas it looks kind of similar down on the bottom side, at least for now, as Deft and Tushin playing very forward in the lane.
And that's the sad reality for the fans out there. For Kingzone, they have all the reason to just keep the game state as it is. Continue to shove these waves in, harass them under tower, though Deft took a pretty bad trade on that end. So you can be able to get the CS advantage, number 1. Okay, that's a good trade, buddy.
Yeah.
and then chip down and turret plating. So that's what Kingzone want to be able to accomplish. It's on Mad Team to look for plays, especially post 6, level 5 on Uniboy. If he can find a time to get out of the mid lane, look for an opportunity near bot, that's something you can go for.
See that Breeze was thinking about taking it back there, but it's not going to happen as Rascal very confidently, even with all the minions, looking for a trade here.
He just knows. Can even go in for a slingshot or like hook shot, just to be able to, if he wants to go for the all-in. So Rock understands that. He needs to get this one fully shoved in. If you can see, Cuz is in a great position for a gank here because the waves placement. So good luck, Rock.
Okay, he is going to be spotted here on the control ward, though. Does pick up that ultimate, at least from Rock, who was just able to hit level 6. So was just able to get one cooldown. You'll notice that Cuz taking it very slowly to clear out that control ward at the top side of the map. Was just a little bit scared about where Hongye would be. As, okay, nice Justice Punch here into Naeon, is going to take that one, but ends up rooting both of them and kind of just laughing in their faces as he doesn't have to blow either of his summoners, but takes a big chunk of damage.
Yeah, Kongyu couldn't get into range, get the angle for an upskun of Duck to really get anything off of that one, so it's been unfortunate. I still love the fact that Nehun sent his clone in the direction of the jungle so he couldn't get that angle. It's a smart way to go about it, so he didn't have to use any of his summoners.
Every time we look at these trades, it's just sadness for Rock. As, I mean, he's just being pushed in. He tries to take the trade, and Rascal kind of just laughs at him as everything misses.
Yeah. One thing I'm always concerned about, that one is a good hit. And that's just going to pile on, sadly, but there's a lot of poke going back and forth, is more so the slow pushing wave up top lane. Because essentially, whenever you're stacking up 2 waves and pushing it into Rock, especially after he used his ultimate, if you are a top laner, you have to be concerned about a jungle looking for a dive on that one. Cuz could definitely have gone topside and looked for a dive. Kongyu would had to have forced toward, forced topside so he can be there potentially to be able to save him out. So that's something to also be cognizant of, especially post 6. Now that Cuz is sick, that he can look for that. Okay, cleanse having to be used already by Tucson.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he saw the edge there, but Devourer will come in. No cleanse on Tucson. But they're not going to be able to get it as the slow does come in. And still, really only that cleanse on Tucson from before the fight even started is going to be the only casualty from that fight.
Yeah, I guess they thought that they could follow up with Kongyu as a stun of Duck. Even with the cleanse being used, they have follow-up CC. Just couldn't get an angle once again. This is how frustrating it's going to be for Matt to get anything going on the bot side.
You can see that with that unsealed spellbook, Deft is like, oh, well, I guess I might as well use this heal. Hey, we should just sustain in the lane. Why not, As this trade is just always sadness, as I mentioned before, for the side of Rock. At least he does have his ult back.
And look what it's turning into. The gold lead has already turned 8 minutes into the game. 74 CS to 54, 20 CS lead in the top lane. Breeze getting hit up, so obviously that CS deficit he's in currently is only going to get worse when this wave crashes in.
Yeah.
Tough times from Mad. I talked about the fact that they had 3 losing lanes and a losing jungle matchup. This is legitimately the result of that.
This is what happens, guys, as generally the better team, especially as we can all agree on paper, Kingzone should be. If they get a draft like this, you're just going to have to expect it. We'll just have to see exactly how far the pain is going to extend, as already 3 plates in the bottom lane go the way of death. That earlier trade looked a little bit strange, but he was just trying to push Breeze out of lane because he didn't have his TP.
This is a real early game focus. We'll take a focus on this. I don't think Kongyu is going to be able to get too much. He's just looking for a counter gank, you'd have to believe. And while this is happening, we talk about the fact that Yomu's Ghost Blade has just been picked up by Deft. He had an 800 gold lead to begin with, so he's going straight lethality here.
Oh, well, that Hextech ultimatum is going to be stolen, but he can't get in range, as already the Dragon was started down on the bottom side by Kingzone. You might have even seen the Silas going top on that ward that was in that Tri-Brush near the top blue side turret. But not 100% sure, as the Cloud Drake is going to be taken here already by Kingzone.
So Kingzone's already shored themselves up with a pretty big focus on their early game. I was wondering what Deft would go towards, because if you're going lethality on Varus, you know, you'd expect it to be the Comet, but understood the risk involved with the bottom lane CC available, as I had earlier mentioned. So just going in between both the cleanse pickup and, of course, early damage from Yomu, so the range is definitely going to be far over Breeze. There is a concern that if there's ever a stop-in play from Kingzone, if they can't push their initial advantage, then the damage is just a huge drop-off. So, or at least they would have a lot of faith in Rascal to carry the load. So that's what I'm worried about, but with how well Kingzone has been playing so far in the tournament, this is just something they should be able to carry over.
It's kind of cool to see the lethality Varus coming in here up against Comet Ashe. I know that Papa mentioned on an LCK broadcast how maybe with the volley buff, perhaps we could see some lethality Ashe coming in with Comet, but haven't seen that just yet. Turns out she's going to be feeling the pain of the lethality from Deft this time around, as once again we're going to be looking for a gank in the bottom side.
But at least we saw the first level of, you know, ingenuity. The Comet on Ashe is something we haven't seen previous to this buff. So now we're seeing a lot of focus on, hey, you know, Ashe already had a pretty good early game before with a volley. Looks like Rock has to get out of here.
Run! He's going to be trying, but that's a very well-aimed max-range hookshot, trying to get out of this one as the sweep comes in and gets him low.
No.
This is the dive you were talking about as First Blood already going to be picked up here for Rascal and Cuz in the top lane.
Took such a bad fight, and Trade was in the worst position possible. They didn't even need a wave to make that gank happen. So now, let's see how many turret platings they take after this one. Seems like this is going to be the 2.
Yeah, just the 2, you can say, as already there's 1 in the mid lane, 3 in the bottom side, taking out the 2 in the top side. As you mentioned, going to add to that one. So once again, the pain continuing here for LMS VCS as Mad Team in their debut struggling a little bit against Kingzone.
A lot of the times when I watch the LMS, you know, the games, for me, go a bit too slowly. And they don't get punished too heavily whenever mistakes are made. So a lot of the times when you see this happening in regions like that, they tend to pick more scaling matchups. They tend to pick far more focus towards team fighting rather than for the laning phase. And this is the result. You find yourself in an international event and you just get hard punished just off lane alone. It really becomes lose lane, lose game. So maybe Mad Team could find that proactivity, but they would lose a lot here.
Okay, well, the arrow's going to come out as the flash forward will be
my God.
As well flashed by Deft, who is not messing around. Knew that teleport was coming in from the side of the Galio. Didn't want to be anywhere near. So, as you mentioned, the cleanse coming through. It's pretty ridiculous.
Frustration's piling up. I am feeling that frustration. Rock feels it. Look at him. Get away from me.
He's a frustrated Atrox. Look at his face.
Where's my jungler?
I'm frustrated. I even said Atrox like LS. Look at what's going on.
Please.
What is happening in this game?
Help me.
Help us here, guys, as another plate's going to go down. And Kingzone are just kind of looks like they're playing a scrim right now.
This is honestly the result. You can't make any plays. And you can't say they didn't try. They sent 2 Ashe ults to the bot side. Obviously, none came through successful. They went for a flash, double binding by K. Of course, they ducked and dodged that one. And now if you look at what Deft has for himself, it's teleport and cleanse. Get off of me.
Is this the new meta?
It's the get
meta.
that dirt off my shoulders comp.
Yeah.
He doesn't want any of that.
Deft is, it kind of looks like he's smurfing in some of these games, regardless of who Kingzone seems to play. Popped up on the Lucian yesterday, and today he's having a bit of fun on the Varus top Kent. As we're looking for a second turret before 15 minutes here.
So usually you would see, you know, teams rotating their dual lane up top side if they want to make that focus be around Rift Herald. And I'm concerned here. I don't think Mad Team can even take it, even if this is their strong side. But take a look at Ashe. She's actually rotating to this side of the map now. So she wants to actually contest for the Mountain Dragon that's going to be coming up here.
They are thinking about it. Nice dodge there on the Chains of Corruption. Deft is just right in the front. Dushin has to flash, but it doesn't seem to matter. Here comes Nahon, trying to time it there with Punga, but it's not going to make it happen. But still Kingzone in the lead on this one. Big Tun, though, from the side of Uniboy. He's trying to carry that team to the victory tonight. He's going to pick up 2 kills for his team for the 2-1 victory in the fight going to Mad Team.
There we go. We're taking something. And I don't think you could take this Mountain Dragon. That should be Mad Team's mountain, and they should base after that. Recognizing that Deft had already used his cleanse and they can get that Ashe ultimate all over. Technically, it was already moving towards him by the time he used his cleanse, so he probably didn't see it coming. So as we see the replay, they pretty much lose everything. We're just talking about execution here. Yeah, Kingzone, especially Nahon coming in with the ultimate, incredibly ineffective. And it gave time for Mad Team to start walking up. You see Breeze and Kay being able to move up and support Uniboy. Huge 4-man taunt as well. So really well done from Uniboy to be able to keep the fight in it.
Yeah, he was the guy that kept their team in that one for sure. As Deft, you can tell that he's feeling it right now. He was just walking up to the enemy team, all 5 of them, with his bow drawn, looking for that piercing arrow.
Yeah, a little bit too confident.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you have a 6K goal lead at this stage, there's reason to be confident. It's not as, like, that was a great lifeline for Mad Team, but the reality is, once again, top lane's been shoved out. Bottom lane's getting worked at. They're already back in position, so Kingzone can go right back to the Mountain Dragon and erase essentially what just happened just about 30 seconds ago. So Mad Team need probably 2 more of those.
Yeah, they need 2 more of those, or as you were saying, perhaps they should have just gone straight for the Drake and taken that one off the map. Didn't end up doing that, didn't feel like they were strong enough. And this is going to be smited away here by the side of Kingzone. So second Drake will go the way of Kingzone in this game, number 1.
Now here's the real concern. This is when Kingzone's composition goes online, because they have quite a bit of shove from Rascal and Nahon. And Deft's just going to be sieging. He's going to be stuck in the mid lane, consistently looking for poke on whoever is going to be picking up the wave. If it's Uniboy, yeah, he could take the poke, but he can't wave clear or shove them right back. They need somebody, most likely Breeze, to be there to wave clear, but we already saw what happened bottom lane when he was under tower by Varus. The result is going to be very obvious here, that they're going to be real damage. This mid lane turret is going to be taken down by Kingzone at some point.
And it's basically just standing on its last leg right now, as Kingzone going to pick up Shelly for now at about 18 minutes. Just throw that into the mid lane if they do desire. Here we go. Not wasting any time on their train ride in this game. Just going as fast as possible, trying to clear all the objectives, get the achievements done in this one.
And Breeze is not even in position, so Kingzone can actually move this one into the second turret. It's going to be a lot to work on here if you're a Mad Team.
Kingzone not sticking around, but it's okay to get a bit of damage done to the tier 2. Again, it is very early.
Where are we going? Nice. Got him. That's 50 points.
Yeah, good. Bullseye.
Yeah. Just so he knew he could do it.
Unfortunately, we're playing League of Legends here, so the archery gonna have to take a back seat, as kind of disjointed there from the side of Mad Team. Thought perhaps they could make a play happen, but they're just a little bit too far behind and not really on the same page so far.
They're gonna be doing quite a bit of damage on this one. So here's the tough one. We already saw what's been happening. A lot of damage here. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of dirks so far. He's having a lot of fun with this build, his Deft.
They're just moving from mid lane to bot side. They have full control of the red side jungle. We saw what happened when you just take any shortcuts through the jungle. If you do that, you're just going to get cut off. You lose the fight. Kingzone are forcing them to take the long way around, and they're losing turret damage just based off that alone.
It's definitely been fun times for them.
Yeah.
Nahon picking up a second item here, but you could see that a more important second item perhaps is going to be on Deft.
We spiking.
Yeah. Well,
Duskblade of Drakthar.
very spiky items there in the inventory of Deft this time around.
Not only just the spooky ghosts too, but Neon having the stopwatch. We have 3 stopwatches right now on the side of Kingzone. Makes them all the more brazen of looking for dives. And I expect it to be happening. Rascal's going to be the one that's going to be looking to initiate that, you would expect, alongside. Because both of them have ways to drop turret aggro in and of itself. So if you see this in the hands of the LPL teams, oh, this game's going to be a 25-minute game.
Absolutely.
I wonder how slow they're going to be playing this one, because technically they can just play it slow around and just choke them around in the Baron side of the map. They don't really have to do anything. It's going to have to be Mad that tries to look for a desperate play.
It's kind of funny as another arrow is going to go wide. That one a little bit funny too, as
just so he knows he could do it.
Cycling.
That button works.
Thank you for showing that to us, Kongye.
It's functioning, so he could tell the referee.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, there's only been 4 kills in this game, but it's been accelerating faster than you would expect just because Kingzone has kind of just been rolling over them so far. And their siege is very annoying, almost just in the hands there of Death, but once you get Nahyun and even Cuz joining up, it can be overwhelming at times.
They're fully committing to these defense plays on top side, that whenever Kingzone just simply moves to the jungle, they have 0 people to actually protect the mid lane turret. This is easy, my friends. Right now, Mad Team, the biggest problem with them, we're talking about the quick item spikes that Kingzone are hitting for themselves. Ash has literally just started on the Trinity Force, which one of the most expensive items right now. So if you're at that point, you're going to be done.
Oh, boy. I had to flash that one, actually, because the insane damage from just ult Q was too much.
Where are we going? Yep, more gold.
Yeah, we're just rotating.
I thought that Deft was going to flash to get the kill on Kongyue, but doesn't want to make any risks.
He doesn't want to bully too hard, you know?
This is still bullying. A slow bully is the worst bully.
He's just dragging it out for them, I guess. It really doesn't get much worse than this. As, yeah, they're not even going to help Cuz with this. They got to go back and buy some more items. That's really what they want to do. As another Dirk picked up here for Deft. Double Mountain Drake on the side of Kingzone. And, hey, I mean, their Baron is not, you know, S+ tier, but they can do it decently fast. And now with Double Mountain, you can absolutely take that objective. And with their insane siege,
let's not highlight this. Let's not show the fact. No, let's not highlight this too.
We're in Korea. We gotta show
not
off
this
now.
one. Oh wait, the minions are doing work. It's okay.
This is the LCK. That's what this KR production trying to show off here. Not a single speck of damage in the bottom lane, at least.
While we're at it, let's flip to see how much gold this team doesn't have. You know, just rub the salt in the wound.
Yeah.
Why don't you? But yeah, it's to the point, to your earlier point about not the fastest Baron, Double Mountain will be able to hit that pretty easily. But Kingzone, any team that has this kind of draft, you already have Sterix Gauge on your Camille, set up for that fight. At this point, there's nothing that's going to stop you. Even if you massively misplay this fight, you should still be able to just get right past Kongyue and Breeze. They won't be dealing much damage at all. They don't even have their first, like, especially for Kongyue, doesn't have that first key item.
Alrighty, well, they see it. The question is, can they do anything about it? You can see that Kingzone not really taking much damage from the Baron and Mad.
Naeun's in a great spot. Even with the control ward that will potentially see him, what are they going to do about it?
Trying to get some vision there. The final spark is now trying to close in on them as Kingzone, but not quite able to. Flash comes out from Tucson as they do have to disengage, in fact. Here comes Rock trying to get on in there, but might just be burst down. Has that stopwatch for now. But he is so close to going down. Tries to throw out that chain of corruption. And everything's going wide as Cuz is going to assassinate the support. And now Mad Team is on the retreat here. Not really able to turn this one around. Uniboy, okay, Deft, all right.
Okay.
Trying to get another taunt down here is Uniboy, but we're 10,000 gold down the line, my good friend. As that is going to be the ace going the direction of Kingzone here, 24 minutes.
That was the result of science. They were testing my sentiment. How badly can you play that fight and still be able to come out at the back end of that one? They played at least as poorly as he could. Nehun couldn't find anybody on that one. And at the end, like, Tushin lost a lot of HP before they even got to it. So I would say props to Mad Team for stalling out the Baron. But then they fully committed to the fight when really they just needed the gold on the map. The waves crashing in. I don't even want to see the replay on this one, to be fair. Because take a look at the initial engage. Tushin's out. He's fine. He's okay. But Rock fully committing. Do you even have a team near you is my question. Of course, the answer is no.
Uniboy's off the screen on the left side.
So he fully has to commit. Galio ult comes through. Nehun finds no one on this one. Cuz is at least putting in work, so I respect that. He has a tunnel that he can go through, so at least he has a second tunnel. So that's the second point to get in. Deft being able to get the snipe, so they just have so much outward range that it doesn't really matter how the fight ends up going.
The alley-oop there at the end. This Deft picks up that last one as we had some one-sided games yesterday, but I kind of feel like this has been the most one-sided so far. As
it depends how we're talking about it, because this is one of the slowest burns. At least the top esports game went to like 25, 26 minutes. This one's definitely going longer than that, but it feels like it shouldn't have gone longer than that.
It just, it kind of just feels a little bit more aggressive in this sense. Def knows he has the Tom Kent very dutifully right behind him as the siege will begin here with the Baron in the 2 lanes, mid and top. Kingzone trying to put an end to this disaster so far.
At least Kongyo has the Varus ultimate, but if they even try to go on a Rascal, that's the worst decision you can make. He's just going to hook shot right out of there. You need to go on the main base, but all right, you're going to be losing this tower.
All right, let's throw everything at Deft. He had the cleanse on his flash. So is able to just get out of both of those. The flash forward as, well, see you later, Breeze. Barely felt you coming through right there as down he does go. Kingzone are looking to end this one real quick, Raz.
Yeah, next inhibitor is going to be a primary focus. Let's get the team fight out of the way.
Oh, boy. Where did the Aatrox go? First pick got dominated in the top side by Rascal's Camille as... well, it doesn't feel like much of a rivalry here in game number 1 as Mad Team struggles up against Kingzone, who are now just playing with their food. At least Konga is able to get a kill there on the backside, but game number 1 of the night is going to end in about 27 minutes in a very one-sided fashion. GG as Kingzone pick up their second win of the tournament.
Would have been a perfect game if it wasn't for the 2 deaths that came through.